Hi, I'm Cong, and I'm delighted to present our new paper, Synthetic Experience Replay. This is work done with my fantastic co-authors, Phil, Whye, and Jack. To motivate our paper, RL agents are typically bottlenecked by useful data, usually on-policy data, which they need to gather themselves. This is in stark contrast to recent trends in supervised learning, which has shown the potential of training on large amounts of synthetic generative data in order to boost downstream performance. Our paper looks at this application in reinforcement learning, whereby we can upsample agent replay data using a diffusion model. For our problem setting, we're in the traditional RL setting where we model our environment as a Markov decision process. Agents train on experience tuples of states, actions, rewards, and next states in order to learn a policy that maximizes expected return in the environment. To generate synthetic data, we consider diffusion generative models, which are a class of model that learn to iteratively reverse a forward noising process and generate samples starting from pure noise. For our use case, the data distribution P of X models the RL data distribution D. Our approach, synthetic experience replay, is conceptually simple and compatible with any algorithm using experience replay. Starting from a fixed quantity of rollout data, we can arbitrarily upsample this experience and augment our training data with synthetic samples. By leveraging this increased data, agents can learn more effectively from smaller datasets and can achieve much higher sample efficiency. We visualize the data generation process in the two figures here. On the left, we show a video of the denoising process for a variety of diffusion models trained on the offline D4RL datasets. While we diffuse the full state action reward and next state transition tuple, we only visualize the state portion here. On the right, we do the same, but also show a t-SNE visualization in red of 100,000 transitions throughout the denoising process. On the leftmost cluster, we can see visually that the samples resemble pure noise. As we progress along the denoising process, we can see that multiple clusters form, showing that we can generate diverse samples that are representative of the data. We evaluate the generated data across settings in offline and online reinforcement learning and summarize the results here. In offline reinforcement learning, upsampling data using synthetic experience replay greatly outperforms explicit data augmentation approaches in reduced variance of the D4RL Mijoko datasets. On the other hand, in online reinforcement learning, we find that training with synthetic data outperforms specially designed data efficient algorithms, but crucially, with no algorithmic changes needed whatsoever. Furthermore, we also include experiments on pixel-based environments in the main paper. Finally, we perform analysis on why our synthetic data outperforms traditional data augmentation approaches. In the diagram on the right, we have diffusion synthetic data in blue and augmented data in red. We plot L2 distance from the dataset against the dynamics error, which is defined here as how accurate the next state and reward in the transition tuple are conditioned on the current state in action. We can see that synthetic experience replay generates samples that are simultaneously more faithful to the true dynamics and more diverse than traditional data augmentation. We believe that we've only begun to scratch the surface of what's possible with synthetic diffusion data. For example, while SynthER upsampled the data in an unbiased way, we could consider modifying the generated data distribution to accelerate training, for example, by specifically targeting high DD error samples. Next, we could consider fine-tuning pre-existing foundation models instead of training from scratch. This could enable SynthER to help the agent generalize to new concepts that are unseen in the training data. Finally, we could also consider extending SynthER to other forms of experience replay by changing the data distribution of the diffusion model. For example, we could consider n-step formulations of experience replay. Thank you for listening, and if you have any further questions, please do get in touch. And please see the links on the slide for both the paper and code for our project.